Hello, boys and girls. I know it's hard to hear me with my mask on, and I can take it off now because, I wear it when I'm coming in because I come in contact with other people. But now, you're not here, and Miss Shannon is 6 feet away, so we're good. Okay, today is kind of a special day if you're concerned about winter turning into spring. It's Groundhog Day. And the legend is that the groundhog comes out of his burrow in the ground, and if he sees his shadow, that would mean it's a sunny day, which we're usually excited about. But if he sees his shadow, he runs back down into his burrow and 6 more weeks of winter. But if it's a cloudy day and he does not see his shadow, well, then it means spring is right around the corner. So, I'm going to read you some stories about a groundhog, but first, our favorite critter. Come on, Panda. Panda. Oh, that Panda, he's still sleeping. And pandas don't even hibernate in the winter. So come on, Panda. Okay. Okay. Oh, here he is. Oh, Panda. You're all bundled up. Oh, he can take his mask off too. He likes to wear his mask too because he thinks it's important. He wants to set a good example, right? Well, Panda, you're all bundled up. Are you ready for winter to be over? Well, we're going to read some stories about Groundhog. And, it's not always accurate, but it's fun to think that maybe spring is coming if Groundhog doesn't see his shadow. So, let's get started. Wave to the boys and girls. What? Oh, Panda. Every week, same thing. Panda has to look through his binoculars. He thinks maybe some children are way in the back, and he'll see them. Okay, satisfied? Well, I know it's sad. I know it's sad that we can't be with the boys and girls, but we're staying healthy, and we're trying not to spread disease and virus, so it's all good, okay? Okay, all right, now we're gonna welcome you wherever you are, boys and girls. Even you could be watching us in your car if you're on your laptop and going somewhere. So wherever you are, welcome. Welcome, welcome everyone. Now you're here, we'll have some fun. First we'll clap our hands just so, then we'll stretch. Look at Panda and touch our toes. Welcome, welcome everyone. Now you're here. We'll have some fun. Oh, yay. Panda has just been looking forward to this so much. And Tuesday has always been his favorite day because that's story time day. So we still have story time on Tuesday. So Panda, well, Panda says don't forget his favorite song. All right, Panda. Oh, you're sitting up by yourself today. How exciting. All right. Where is Thumpkin? Where is Thumpkin? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away. Run away. Where is Pointer? Where is Pointer? Here I am, here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away, run away. Where is Tall Man? Where is Tall Man? Here I am, here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away, run away. Where is Ring Finger? Where is Ring Finger? Here I am, here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away, run away. Where is Pinky? Where is Pinky? Here I am, here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away, run away. Yay! Yay! Pam, do you want to take your scarf off? Yeah, it's nice and warm in here. You don't need your scarf. I think we'll just leave your sweatshirt on, though, okay? All right, what? I know your favorite part of story time is calling out the boys and girls' names, and I tell you this every week. We don't know who is watching us or when they're watching us, so we just can't do it that way yet. But don't worry, we'll get back to our regular story time. I don't know when, but I promise we will. I'm trying to get you to sit up. Oh, Panda, you were sitting so nice. What's the matter? All right. Where are the boys? Where are the boys? There you are. There you are. How are you today, boys? I think I hear you saying, very well, I thank you. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. Where are the girls? Where are the girls? There you are. There you are. How are you today, girls? Oh, I hear you saying, terrific. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. Yay. Okay, now take just a sip of water and move it out of the way. So, our first book today is called Groundhog's Day Off. And there's our groundhog. Uh-oh, looks like Groundhog has an alarm clock. Every year, on one special day in February, Groundhog wakes up extra early. Crowds of people gather outside. Locals, tourists, even the mayor. News reporters with very large microphones and big shiny teeth are waiting. Every year they ask Groundhog the same things. Are there going to be 6 more weeks of winter? Is spring around the corner? And they even have signs that say, bring on spring and we want sun. But one thing they never ask Groundhog about is him. No, how are you feeling? No. Have you seen any good movies lately? No. Do you like mushrooms on your pizza? They don't even ask, who does your fur? Groundhog has more to offer than the forecast. But that's what happens every year. The paper says, how long will winter last? We want spring. Well, not this year. Groundhog wrote a note. Dear people, I am a groundhog with feelings and things to say, but all you care about is the weather. So this year, I'm going on vacation. You'll have to find someone new. Sincerely, Groundhog. P.S. I'm taking my shadow with me. Groundhog packed his robe, slippers, magazines, and shadow, and headed for the spa. The townspeople didn't know what to do. The mayor thought long and hard and finally announced, we'll hold auditions for a new groundhog. Well, lots of animals wanted to try out. Oh, there's the raccoon. But elephant was too big. Look, he can't burrow down into the hole. Ostrich got the whole thing backward. Instead of coming up, he put his head down. Monkey was asked to leave after an unfortunate banana cream pie incident. Bats, owls, moles, and possum schedules didn't work out. Look, These guys are sleeping because they're supposed to hibernate, and owls sleep during the day. Poor puppy suffered from stage fright, and Sheldon, well, his statue just wouldn't behave. I'm sorry, his shadow just wouldn't behave. "This is terrible," the mayor cried. "There's only one animal right for this job." Now, Groundhog had been relaxing when he heard a news report. Nobody has Groundhog's flair for the dramatic. Nobody can wake up as early as he does. No one, the mayor said, is as special as Groundhog. Groundhog couldn't believe his ears. "They do think of me as more than just a weather vane." And with that, he threw on a towel and whistled for a taxi. "Take me home." So Groundhog, there he is, tunneled under the stage and ta-da! Popped out of the hole. Well, the audience stood and cheered. The reporters asked Groundhog all the questions he had always hoped they would ask. Where did you go on vacation? Which team are you rooting for in the playoffs? Do you prefer chunky or smooth peanut butter? Is that your real fur? Will you do this for real tomorrow? Groundhog stopped signing autographs. Tomorrow, he said. The reporters nodded. Tomorrow is Groundhog Day. You came back just in time. Well then, no time to talk. I have to go to bed early. The next morning, Groundhog woke up extra early. He poured himself a cup of warm mint tea and peeked out of his hole. And this time, the reporters asked him about much more than the weather, although they still have a sign that says, "We want spring." "What would we do without you? Do you like bagels or donuts? What would you do with $1 million? Seriously, is that your real fur?" And even put him on the cover of a magazine. "You like me, you really, really like me," Groundhog said with a huge smile. He felt like everyone cared about him. He was very happy. That is, until he climbed back down into his hole, turned on the television, and he saw that Bunny had hopped away. Auditions would be held in the spring. Oh no, now Bunny is quitting. Well, there they are, relaxing on the beach. Do you think they're really going to quit their jobs? We'll have to see. The end. All right, did you like that, Panda? Huh? Okay, you're doing a good job of sitting up. I'm really proud of you. Okay, I have another groundhog story. Let's pick this one. Groundhog Stays Up Late by Marjorie Coolan. Oh, look at that cute little groundhog. Groundhog was not the kind of groundhog who liked to hibernate. To him, making a winter burrow was boring. Gathering and storing food was boring. And most of all, sleeping all winter long was boring. Instead of preparing for winter, he liked to play hide and seek with the rabbits and possum with the opossums and tag with the bumblebees. Why do you even bother to hibernate? Chattered Squirrel. You're never ready when winter comes. You should be looking for nuts and seeds right now. I don't think I'll hibernate this year, said Groundhog. But you have to, said Badger. How else will you wake up on February 2nd and look at your shadow so we'll know when spring is coming? I don't need to hibernate to do that, said Groundhog. Bear shook his shaggy head. Well, don't expect us to give you shelter when it snows, or food when you get hungry, said Squirrel, or warmth when you get cold, said Badger. Well, finally, winter came. Groundhog's friends curled up in their homes for their long winter naps. But not Groundhog. He stayed outside. Soon it began to snow. Wow, snow, yelled Groundhog. Time to play. Hare ran by. Want to make a snowman? Asked Groundhog. No, silly, said Hare. I'm racing to my woodpile until the storm's over. Weasel ran by. Want to have a snowball fight? Asked Groundhog. Forget it, said Weasel. I'm scampering to my hole where it's warm. Fox ran by. Want to build a snow fort? Asked Groundhog. Not now, said Fox. I'm running to my den to get dry. Ah, what a bunch of stick in the mud, said Groundhog. As the weeks passed, Groundhog built a snowman. He threw snowballs at the trees, and he even made a snow fort. But Groundhog was getting very hungry and very thin, which was making him very cold. And most of all, he was getting very lonely. So one day, just before Christmas, he padded over to Badger's burrow. May I come in? He called. Badger opened one eye like that. No, I'm too busy sleeping. Groundhog scurried to Squirrel's hole. Hello, Squirrel, he said. How about sharing a few nuts? Squirrel twitched his tail. Not now, he said. I'm taking a nap. Come back in the spring. Groundhog finally burrowed through the snow to Bear's cave. Wake up, Bear! It's me, Groundhog, he called. Bear turned over and wiggled one ear. Go away, he growled. I warned you not to bother me. Poor Groundhog. So hungry, so cold, so lonely. All night long he stayed awake. But that night, as he shivered and shook, he began to get an idea that would put food in his belly and give him friends to play with. A few days later, the sun came out and the snow started to melt. Groundhog climbed to the top of the hollow hill and pointed his nose to the sky. He opened his mouth and yelled, Spring's come early! Let's celebrate! So the animals poked their heads out of their dens. They wiggled out of their burrows. They crawled out of their holes. How wonderful to have an early spring! Even though it was cold and there were patches of snow on the ground, spring was on its way. They gathered the food they had stored in the fall and carried it outside. Groundhog was waiting for him. Happy spring! He lied. I didn't see my shadow. Spring is coming early. Let's eat. Is that a nice trick to play on your friends? Hooray, yelled Bear. Hooray, shouted the other animals. They laid all of their food on a big stump. Groundhog dove into the dried berries and nuts and seeds. So everyone was eating and celebrating. That is, until something unexpected started to happen. A snowflake fell from the sky, and then another and another. Well, soon the snow was swirling around them like tiny stars. I thought spring was coming early this year, complained Squirrel. I'm getting very cold and very tired all of a sudden, moaned Bear. I need to take a nap, said Badger. Well, Squirrel skittered back to his hole, and looked at his calendar. It was only January 2nd. Groundhog played a trick on us, he yelled. It's not February 2nd. Groundhog Day is a whole month away. What a nasty trick, cried the animals. Groundhog should be punished. So, Groundhog didn't hear them. He was so sleepy after his big meal that he had crawled into his burrow and had fallen fast asleep. And he slept. And he slept. Oh, right up until February 2nd, when his eyes popped open for Groundhog Day. He stepped out into the fresh air. The snow had melted, the birds were singing, and buttercups dotted the woods with color. It's spring, said Groundhog, but when he looked down at the ground, he saw his shadow. Well, that means 6 more weeks of winter. It looked a little strange, and it was a funny color, but, well, it had to be his. Nuts, he said, 6 more weeks of winter, and he returned to his burrow and went back to sleep. Now, the other animals came out of their hiding places. Our trick worked, said Badger. That shadow we painted on the ground sure fooled Groundhog. Well, it really was spring. And while Groundhog slept through spring, his friends enjoyed the sun warming their fur and the breezes ruffling through the trees. But did Groundhog learn his lesson? Nope. Next year there he is with a Happy New Year hat, smiling at everybody when they're supposed to be still asleep. The end. Okay, I think we will take a walk over to our flannel board to have a flannel board story. The first little groundhog digs a home in the fall and curls up all winter, rolled up like a ball. Because that's what groundhogs are supposed to be. The second little groundhog comes out of his lair on February 2nd to get some fresh air. And I guess he's going to find out if he sees his shadow. The third little groundhog, he looks up at the sun. Oh no, he sees his shadow and goes on the run. But the fourth little groundhog, at his dark shadow peaks, he goes back to his burrow for 6 more weeks. The fifth little groundhog hopes the skies will be gray so that he will know that spring's on its way. Okay, he has a sign that says February 2nd to remind him when he's supposed to come out. There's Groundhog hibernating. There's Groundhog peeping up. There's the sun. There's the shadow. That means 6 more weeks of winter. But this little groundhog is hoping for gray skies so that spring will be on its way. Are you ready for spring? Well, I am, but we have to wait and see what's going to happen. Okay, let's go back for another story. Okay, so you know that a couple of weeks after Groundhog Day comes Valentine's Day. So this story kind of combines Groundhog Day and getting ready for Valentine's Day. And it is called Groundhog Day. And it's by Anne Marie Pace. Well, Valentine's Day was only 2 weeks away, and Moose was planning a grand party. You need Valentine balloons, said Squirrel, and Valentine cards, said Bunny. And don't forget the Valentine hugs, pointed out Porcupine. Everyone has to come to my party, said Moose. Uh-oh, Bunny said, that's a problem. What's a problem? Moose asked. Well, tomorrow is Groundhog Day, Bunny said. And if Groundhog sees his shadow, he'll go back into his hole for 6 more weeks. He won't be awake on February 14th. Good point, said Moose. If we stop him from seeing his shadow, then he can come to my party. I've got it, said Squirrel. I'll sneak into his hole and change his calendar so we won't know it's February 2nd. Your chattering will wake him up, said Porcupine. I'll blindfold him when he comes out. Your quills might just poke him in the eye, said Bunny. I'll put up a tent over his hole. He'll know he's not outside, Moose said. He'll sit on his hole. I will sit on his hole, so he can't come out at all. Calendar, blindfold, tent. Moose, bellowed Moose. Well, let's see. But the animals bickered about it all night, and they didn't notice the black sky turning gray. They didn't notice the pink light of morning creeping over the hills, and they didn't notice Groundhog's nose twitching at the entrance to his hole until it was too late. Uh-oh, what does Groundhog see? Yep, his shadow. Oh, now what's going to happen? The animals watched helplessly as Groundhog dove back into his hole. Wait, Moose thundered. Groundhog's muffled voice barely reached the surface. I need to stay down here. There are shadows all over the place up there. Well, Moose was puzzled. Groundhog, are you afraid? Is that why you go back into your hole? You could say that, Groundhog called. I didn't realize Groundhog was afraid of shadows, said Squirrel. Me neither, said Porcupine. Shadows aren't scary, said Bunny. Well, they are scary to Groundhog, said Moose. Well, the animals sat quietly thinking. Hey, Groundhog, Moose finally said, what if we showed you just how awesome shadows are? I'll show you the way leaves blowing in the wind make shadows dance. I'll show you how to draw silhouettes, said Bunny. And I'll show you how clouds cast shadows on the hills, said Squirrel. I want to show Groundhog my shadow puppets, said Porcupine. Dancing shadows, Moose said. Cloud shadows, Squirrel said. Silhouettes, Bunny said. Shadow puppets, said Porcupine. Wait, said Groundhog. He eased out of his hole. Can't we do all of them? They all sound like fun. The animals spent the day showing Groundhog all the amazing shadows they could discover and create. And they were all fun, especially Porcupine's shadow puppets. See his shadow over there? It's a comb, it's a feather, it's a buzzsaw. It's sunshine. Finally, late that night. What a wonderful day, Groundhog said. But I really do have to go back into my hole now, he shivered. 6 more weeks of winter, you know. But you're not afraid of shadows anymore, Moose protested. Now you don't have to miss my Valentine's Day party. I may not be afraid, Groundhog said, but it's cold up here. But there aren't any balloons in your hole, said Squirrel. Or Valentine cards, said Bunny. Or Valentine hugs, said Porcupine pointedly. Nope, but my hole is warm, said Groundhog. He looked at his disappointed friends. We can at least have hugs before I go. Ground hugs all around, with a special Groundhog Day nose kiss for you, Porcupine. Well, that works for me. Happy Groundhog Day, said Porcupine. So, 6 weeks later, Groundhog emerged from his den just in time to don a green hat. Let's have a St. Patrick's Day party, he hollered. We're all here. Well, all but Bunny, Squirrel reminded Groundhog. Well, where's Bunny? Groundhog asked. Oh, you know Bunny, Moose said. He's always holed up this time of year. What's Bunny getting ready for? Another holiday where we have colored eggs and Bunny delivers them. Do you know what holiday that is? Of course, Easter. So we're going to have Valentine's Day, and we're going to have St. Patrick's Day, and we're going to have Easter. So we have stuff to get ready for. Now, the last book I'm going to read today is not about groundhogs, but it's about sometimes you have to stay inside, and sometimes you can go outside. And this book is about what happened all over the world and in our country when we had to quarantine because of the coronavirus. So it's a little bit about when you can go outside and when you have to stay in. So this book is called Outside, Inside. I hope I said it, by Yuan Pham. I hope I said that right. And something strange happened on an unremarkable day just before the seasons changed. And if you remember, you probably don't, but your adults do, last March, things changed for us just before spring. Everybody who was outside went inside. And everyone, everywhere, all over the world. Everyone just went inside, shut their doors, and waited. Well, almost everyone. You see who these people are? Some people needed to be outside. You see policemen and ambulance drivers and firemen and letter carriers and places where we buy our food. They had to be where they needed to be. And here again, you can see all kinds of healthcare workers who still went to work to take care of people and help them get better. Outside, the sky was quiet, but the wind still blew, and birds kept singing. Raccoons came out and squirrels played in the streets, but the cars stayed away and the world felt a little bit different. And you can see that guy is wearing a mask like we wear, like Panda and I had on. Inside, we baked and cooked, made music and watched TV. We read and played games. Some of us worked a little, and some of us couldn't work at all. We all felt a little different. Outside, there were fences, both real and pretend. People are waving but staying apart. Swings sat still and slides were lonely. Bells didn't ring and halls were empty. We had birthdays without parties, shared words without sounds. People put up signs that said hope. we'll get through this. And happy birthday signs, and reach each other without touching. The world was changing a tiny bit outside. Outside, the world kept growing, and inside, we kept growing too. On the outside, we are all different. Oh, all right. I'm sorry, I missed a page here. Let's just go back a little. Why did we all go inside? Well, there were lots of reasons, but mostly everyone knew it was the right thing to do. On the outside, we are all different. But on the inside, we are all the same. And we remembered that soon spring would come inside. Let's spread this all out. Thank you, Miss Shannon. Inside and outside. And so, like we wait for Groundhog to tell us we hope spring is coming, this year we really hope spring is coming. The end. Okay, thank you for coming to story time with me and Panda. Panda, you were such a good bear sitting up all by yourself today. So have a good week, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Bye. Say bye, Panda.